With Jesse Ryder blazing his way to a scintillating century, Essex took complete control of their LV County Championship match with Gloucestershire in Chelmsford, where there were also runs for Ravi Bopara, James Foster, Tom Wesley and Nick Brown. Wesley and Brown had taken their side to 75 without loss on the previous evening in reply to their opponent's below par score of 224, and both continued to look in fine fettle on the second morning. Wesley had started the day on 46 and was soon at his 50 as he whipped Jack Taylor through the leg side for his 11th four, which took the opener to his half-century of only 52 balls. He was dealing almost exclusively in boundaries and took a 12th off his next delivery. Brown was a little more circumspect, but when given the opportunity, he rarely missed out on any ball from which to score his boundaries. The 23-year-old, batting for the 9th time in a first-class game, was nearing his maiden half-century as his partnership with Wesley first realised 100 runs and more. This was the moment Brown will relish until he goes on to get his maiden ton. The moment was nearly ruined as he came close to slipping over as he turned for his second run, but staying on his feet he completed his 50 off 99 balls, from which he'd found the boundary 6 times. He and Wesley had given their side the ideal start. In spite of the way the pitch looked from afar, there was nothing for the batsmen to fear, and Gloucestershire knew that they were in for the long haul in the field as these two batsmen took their partnership to 139, the visiting attack going 37 overs without any success, even though their whole first innings lasted only 57. Finally, to the first ball of over number 38, Wesley on 71 edged the part-timer Hamish Marshall behind to Adam Rouse. Rouse has impressed greatly in the first few days of his month-long trial at the club, and he was in the action again in the next over, as Brown's innings came to an end on 65, David Payne the successful bowler this time. Both wickets had fallen early on in the second hour of the morning, and the Gloucesters would have been pleased with their morning's work, as Essex went into the break on 155 for 2, but then the afternoon saw Ryder take over. He began fairly watchfully, but smacking the ball with power to the boundary when he was given the chance to do so. He struck his first 6 to move into the 30s, Tom Smith being lifted down the ground and over the rope. There was nothing out of the ordinary in the Kiwis' first 50 runs, other than the power with which he sometimes struck the ball. With him and Bopara developing another partnership, they soon had their side into the lead with only 2 wickets down, and so it was now all about batting Gloucestershire out of this game completely on what appeared to be a good day for batting. Ryder's half-century arrived off his 90th delivery, and it came courtesy of his 6th four to go with his one towering maximum. He was just starting to leave Bopara behind in the scoring, even though the England man had more of the strike in the partnership, which was by now heading towards 3 figures. For Jack Taylor, it was nice to get a decent ball in his first championship match of the summer. He had to take a long break from the game last year to try to work on his action, which was reported as illegal. A lot of hard work both mentally and physically has followed, as well as a shoulder operation. He may have wished he wasn't bowling to a man in such good nick, however. Ryder took on Gloucestershire's other spinner, Smith, to collect his second 6, one which now took the batsman into the 70s. At the other end, Bopara had batted well within himself. He is in wonderful touch at the moment and has rarely failed in an innings this year. A cut off Smith took him to his 50 before tea, an innings which at this stage had occupied 136 deliveries, from which he'd hit only the 3 boundaries. He was being made to work hard for his runs, but with some success. He went to the break on 51 with Ryder on 78 and the lead standing at 48. The Kiwi then ran riot, playing some tremendous shots as he did so. In truth, the Gloucestershire attack had no answer to him as he middled a lot of his strokes, timing the ball superbly as his boundary count grew. He's been waiting for 100 for Essex, and it duly arrived in his 9th innings in the championship. His record up until now has not been that good with the bat, but here he was superb as he reached his ton off 150 balls with a drive down the ground off Matt Taylor, which brought him his 12th four to go with his pair of 6s. With that out of the way, he now really went on the attack, smashing 2 more maximums as he raced up to 133 off his next 13 deliveries. One didn't exactly go where he was expecting, but the other, off Will Gidman, took an age to land. It was a massive blow which helped this partnership move on to 197. Gloucestershire had hardly created a chance in 55 overs, and so must have been mightily relieved when Ryder failed to ride an uppercut off Matt Taylor to give Rouse his third catch of the day. It had been a wonderful knock from Ryder, a man who, given his life experiences, must just be thankful for every run he scores. Bopara had been not much more than a spectator since tea, but his fine innings should not be forgotten. Around him, Ryder was able to play in the way he did, and now so could Foster, who ended the day by rubbing salt into Gloucestershire's gaping wounds. This was certainly not one of their best days of the summer, and the way Foster was able to take on their tiring attack towards the end must have made them wonder why they didn't make many more runs when it was their turn to bat. By the close, still with only 3 wickets down, Essex had taken their lead beyond 200, and there may be many more runs to come with 2 days still to go. Foster ensured that every Essex batsman has made it to a 50 in this match so far. His half-century was reached just before the close off 53 balls, an innings containing 7 fours. His energy at the crease had also confirmed maximum bonus points in this match for his team. The first thing Essex will want on the third morning is for Bopara to complete his hard-working century. Thus far, he's made 98 off 244 balls in nearly 5 hours at the crease. With Foster on 51, Essex will go again on 425 for 3, leading by 201 runs.